We all just want to know, is this Bitcoin support going to hold so we can see a continuation of this bullish trend, right? So that's what we're going to look at. We're going to focus on that and we're going to get this going. So we all know that we had two dips into deep value sub 80K levels. Then before that, we had very consistent sideways movement. Sideways consolidation has been holding very, very well. It broke here at this moment when tariff fears, exchange hacks just broke the structure and we started to trend lower. What we're looking at now is a three wave structure, right? We're just going to make things super clear before we jump into the smaller picture, understand if the support is going to hold and what we can be looking for potential risk. So we know that to make this simple, we're looking for a three wave structure completion, solid, healthy to trade off of and continue forward. Ever since the structure broke and we see a new pattern form, we had the first wave down, aggressive sell off, short period of time, all the way down to 78K. Then we did a nice aggressive rally upward, completing the second wave of the overall third wave. Now this of an overall three wave move. Now this third final wave, we know that was represented with a simple WXY pattern, just a lower low from previous consolidation, lower high from previous, and then dipping down aggressively to create a new low. This is very shallow. The reason I am now believing that this third wave is not actually done just yet is because of the way it's been unfolding after a very shallow low. This low right here, not much lower than this one, and usually these three waves tend to complete much more aggressively than the previous low, the overall previous low, which is this one right here. So now as we're trending higher, we're seeing a weakness of volume which got corrected, and now we were able to push all the way up to 87K. Now in order to see a fully healthy uptrend where we can actually say that the low is potentially in and we are going to be moving up higher, is enough volume to see the price jump up, not just into the high 80s, but into the low 90s at a minimum. We want to see the price come all the way up here to complete an overall aggressive, overextended third wave, because we have from the previous low, we have a first wave up, second wave correction, which is perfect. It retraced perfectly into this retracement area, completely healthy. And now we're trying to use this structure, this first and second wave structure, to get a third healthy wave. So we did rally up quite a bit, but it's not enough to back up or to provide enough evidence of a sustainable uptrend. We want to see enough volume build up, in my opinion, right? So this tip right here of this high has also a very shallow play compared to the previous resistance that it created. It went up not too much. And even if you were to consider this smaller move from this push up from the low right here, push up, bottoming out right here at 87.5K, it barely reached it. It hit minimum requirements for this extension area, which usually what we end up seeing in the past, and we've seen this many, many times throughout this year and last year, is where if we have enough momentum to reach an extension area, rather to the upside, to the downside, doesn't matter, we tend to have enough momentum build up soon enough afterwards to maximize it and go ahead and try to push up higher into this extension area. If we can push up into the extension and max it out, we can easily see the price finally break into this green third wave zone very, very easily. And what this will provide is a healthy third wave. It can top out anywhere in here. If we don't see that, then we're just seeing a very short-lived rally where we will see a correction form, try to find support with previous retracement before we can potentially come down and form one more low, which will be the third overall low, much lower than this one. So that's if support breaks. Right now we're holding support very, very well, and this is the area that I'm focusing on very, very aggressively. If this area were to break, then what we're looking for is a final support in this orange area right here. This is the key factor to determine if we are going to finally hold bullish momentum or if something's going to cause us to break lower. So we don't want to go any lower than this if you're looking to take long positions. Now, the thing is though, in this yellow retracement area, we are holding it quite well. We broke below it a little bit, didn't really hold below it much before we trended up higher, and we're still holding above the 120 moving average. So if we continue to see this hold, it can potentially create enough bullish momentum to bring us up higher and start retesting this orange area one more time before we can go into the green. So to put things quite simple, to summarize this whole video, we have plenty of support areas to keep an eye on to risk manage our positions. And then what we want to see for a overall completion, I'm going to show you guys what the wave looks like, is to come up here. So what that means is that this final wave down, so we had the first wave down, second wave up, and this third wave down, due to it being very shallow, what we want to see is an overextension of a B wave within this final third wave to then top out, build up any potential short positions so we can come back down and complete it. What that can look like is quite simple. I'm going to show it to you guys. So here's the final wave and how it's unfolding as of this moment. We can easily see first wave down, which is bottomed out right here. Second wave up to complete this smaller structured third wave move. And then try to get a fourth wave correction, complete a fifth wave before we have a reasonable correction and then start moving up higher into, back into the 100s. So that's basically what I'm looking for if we go up into this green area. If not, if support ends up failing, what we're looking for is very, very clearly testing this red area, potentially low 70s, high 60s. And this is very much possible if support fails, and then we can't, it's going to be very short-lived. These sustained levels within discounted levels are not held for very long, and then we can easily see a recovery upward. If we were to take the bottom route, what we want to see is a strong enough correction where we can start forming potential new extension areas to continue a new five-wave structure. At that point, if we come down here, the overall third wave will be done, and what we will be looking for is a new five-wave count up. At that point, it will be to create the first wave of an overall five wave that can bring us easily into 130K. If we do go up higher, we want to see a third wave move up, complete the fourth and fifth before we see that reasonable correction, and then from there we can start the new five wave structure for the first wave for the overall five wave move that will bring us up to like roughly 130K. So that's what we're looking for. Both areas are very, very bullish, but even if we fail and go down, it's going to create just a little bit of a, pushing back that bullish move a little bit further before we go up higher. But I don't really think it's going to last very, very long if this were to happen. So I'm very, very bullish on Bitcoin. Even if we come down, great chance to accumulate before a quick recovery higher. It's just not very sustainable at these discounted levels. So again, we're trying to complete this B wave on this final third wave of, from when we started the fear dip. So we're trying to complete that third wave so then we can have a fourth wave correction and then a fifth wave that can bring us much higher. If not, if we do fail, don't hold support, then quite simply, we want to see the price bottom out, creating a new low, and at that point we'll start a new wave structure. But instead of this being the B wave, instead it will be the start of a five-wave structure on an overall first wave that will eventually have a second quick wave correction and going up higher, well above 100K. So how strong is this support at the moment? Quite well. This overall retracement we had right here from here to here, we're holding it fairly well. We're holding above the 120 moving average. We can easily see the price come up and try to see if it can hold resistance within this area. Try to push it up here before we start seeing that correction. If we do find resistance here and can't go up any higher, at that point, we're just looking for a very simple, just ascending support line to see if it can hold and then finish it at that point. So hopefully this video made sense, guys. I'm very bullish on Bitcoin. I'm very optimistic about it due to primarily the supply and demand for it. I believe demand is very, very strong. But we got to keep an eye on these retracements area, these support areas, with the 120 moving average kind of being the first line of defense. So we can finally go up, complete this third wave, and continue a very simple, straightforward structure. So guys, keep these areas in mind, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you.